Okay, so I think we're going live. Are we live on Facebook? We've actually lost one of our key members of the team today. She's actually jumped on an aeroplane and is flying abroad. So she's taken a massive step from lockdown to actually disappearing out of the country. So that's Georgia. She'll be back with us again next week. So I've got Sophie on this evening as well. Hello, Sophie.
Hello.
And we're going to be coming over to you very early on in this piece, Sophie, because I understand that you've been talking to our local butcher, and you're going to give us a little bit of an update from the butchers.
I have indeed. Yes, he's a very hard man to track down. So
I think he's a very busy man. That's the trouble, which I'm sure you'll be able to update us about. Excellent. Nice to see you, Jane. We haven't seen you for a while. Jane and Marie, nice to see you. And Des.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Good to be back.
Good to see you. Okay, I think we're going. I always like to wait until we're actually going live on Facebook. And we are going live on Facebook. So welcome to this week's Collingham Community Conversation. So I'm Steph Wright, and we're going to spend the next 55 minutes chatting everything about Collingham. And we've got all sorts of interesting people to talk to this evening. So for me, it's been a busy week. Seems to have been non-stop on the go all week this week. We started with a meeting thinking about after the last community conversation. On the Friday morning was a meeting of the Newark Town Fund Board. So this is a board that I have been sitting on that's looking at how Newark can bid for £25 million worth of funding, government funding, through an initiative that was put together by our MP Robert Jenrick and his team at the Homes and Communities Department. And so the Newark is looking at development within the town, how it can generate new employment, how it can create high value jobs, and that's just about to be released. I haven't actually checked with the advertiser today to see if anything's been in the advertiser today. Has anybody seen anything on it? So perhaps it hasn't gone out yet. It'll certainly be going out in the next few days. And the idea is that they're going to get this bid in before the end of the month. So lots of towns have had the opportunity to bid for this for 25 million. And this is 25 million pounds per town. So it's quite a substantial amount of money. And Newark will be one of the first towns in the country to actually get their bid prepared and in. So look out for that one. Very, very focused on development within the town centre, but hopefully the ripples that will be created from that will benefit the wider community of Newark and Sherwood. So that's quite an exciting project that's been working on. And another thing we've been busy doing today is judging the first round of the Newark Business Awards. So the Newark Advertiser runs the Newark Business Awards, which they're going to run again this year. And they're hoping, they've got the fingers crossed, that they're going to be able to have an awards dinner in October, providing we don't go back into lockdown and they can make it all work. So we've had to look at 15 small applications from small businesses, and we've been going through those and trying to list those down to 4 finalists. So lots of good new businesses and existing businesses around Newark. And it's nice to read through and find out more about them all. Right, over to you, Sophie. You're going to give us a quick update on a business from Collingham.
I am indeed, yes. I've been trying to track down Julian for a while. He's extremely busy, so he's very thankful for all the customers at the moment. He had told me that he's been working till 10 o'clock, normally every Thursday, because he has a big order for Friday morning. So that's why he's been unable to come on so far. So he says he gets about 3 to 4 hours sleep a night, which I think is remarkable because I would not survive on that at all. So yeah, he's been very busy, had lots of new customers during this period. So I guess in a way, coronavirus has kind of made people look more to like local sellers and suppliers and stuff. So more people have switched to using him as their local butcher, which is really good. But he's also sustained and like retained all of his normal customers as well as getting some bigger contracts and bigger orders in. So yeah, they've been extremely busy, enjoying the time. He says it's like Christmas Day every day there, like getting all the orders out. So yeah, he's hopefully going to come on in the future, but we just wanted to give a little update on how it's going in hopes that it continues and he keeps getting a lot of orders in. He likes being busy. So yes.
Well, I did see him at the walking football.
Yeah.
Get my camera out and just did a very short video of the walking football. So if Jed can put that up on the screen, we'll have a look at it. So Julian is one of the regulars at walking football. He's a little bit younger than me and a little bit fitter than me, a little bit faster than me. But here we go. This if anybody doesn't know him, this is Pat, and Pat runs the walking football, which takes place every week. Every fortnight. He'll explain. Here we go.
Yeah. Walking football, ladies 9:30 for an hour, gents 10:30 for an hour and 20 till we die.
Every other week down at Collingham Football Club. Look at that. Only above head height. So every fortnight down here at Collingham Football Club, half past 10 in the morning on a Sunday, and come down and play walking football. There you go. Somewhere amongst there was Julian. Because I don't know if you've actually met Julian face to face, have you, Sophie?
No. I only I had a quick 10-minute conversation with him, but he sounds like a great guy. So maybe I might pop down to walking football.
You're very welcome. Yeah, so the ladies go down there as well. So there's ladies walking football, and sometimes it's mixed. So it is really good. Good fitness challenge for anybody who fancies keeping themselves fit. Right, so I'm now going to take you to Mercedes Bauer, and she's going to talk about the body shop at home. So thanks for joining us, Mercedes. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So this is the first time I've actually come on and done this, but I live in Collingham. So I've just come on just to explain what it is basically, so you all know about the body shop itself, like in Lincoln, Newark and stuff. But at home I'm doing it, so it's kind of a bit like Avon. So I've got catalogues that I can give round. I've got products here, so we've got shower gels, we've got body oils, we've got hand creams, we've got everything that you can possibly think of, from makeup to hair care to skincare, from blemish skin to dry skin to oily skin, you name it, we've pretty much got a solution for it. So it is basically like Avon. So you have a catalogue, I collect the orders from you all, put the orders in, and I will deliver them all to hand for you. And I do have a Facebook page I will put in the Collingham community group later on this evening that you can all join. I have competitions on there where you can earn freebies. It's just a bit of fun, really. And it's a good way to keep your skin healthy, your hair healthy. We've got great skin products for the summer, seeing as we've had our summer, but hopefully we get a bit more. But yeah, that's basically everything. And I have got opportunities for people to join the team as well and earn a bit of money from just being on their phone. So last week I made £83 for about 6 hours of being on my phone. So I've got a bit of both opportunity for you to buy products from me and to join the team. So yeah, that's basically everything.
So is the body shop still open on the high street as well?
Yeah, it's still open. It's for people that do it from home. They get a bit more discount. So we sell, at the moment we've got a 10% discount. So everything at the shop is obviously a little bit more expensive than what we sell it at. But it's still in the high street in Lincoln, yeah. That's
interesting. I'm just trying to rack my brains now. It was Anita Ruddock. No, was it Anita Ruddock who's had the body shop? Somebody's going to nod. Jane's going to nod. Right, a little bit of interesting fact here for Collingham. Collingham's actually got a very good connection with the body shop, in that a guy called Peter Segersby, who used to live on Low Street in Collingham, now lives in Lincoln. In fact, he's been on the community conversation, or sometimes listens to it. I don't think he actually comes on, but he quite often listens to it on the Facebook feed. And Peter's a graphic designer, and he did the logo for the body shop for Anita Ruddock many years ago while he was a student. And then he did my original Gusto logo.
Ah,
So I have a link to the body shop. My original Gusto logo was done by Pete Seggersby, and Pete Seggersby did it for Anita Ruddock. And he remembers Anita Ruddock as being this absolutely dynamic business person. That, I mean, she grew the body shop. It's a great story, actually, if you read the book. I've read her book. How she built it, opened the first shop, and then grew it to a very, very large organisation, very successful business.
It's really good as well because all the products are vegan and not tested on animals either. So it is a very good range of products, really well.
Yeah, she was way ahead of her time, actually, wasn't she?
Yeah, very
And
well.
unfortunately, she died a few years ago, didn't she?
If I'm right, yeah, she did.
Yeah, I think she died about 5 or 6 years ago. So there you go. If anybody asks you that at a quiz, well, probably won't. But if they did do, where was the body shop logo designed? It was designed in Collingham by Peter Seggersby. So there you go. Brilliant. Well, thanks for that. So you're going to put your contact details up, please, Mercedes, so people know how to get in touch with you. Again, another example of local trade, local opportunities to buy products from people.
Yes, of course I will.
Thank you for that. Right, we're going from body shop products to cakes. So here we go. KG Bakes.
Yes, KJ Bakes, yes.
KJ Bakes. KJ Bakes. Tell us about KJ Bakes.
So KJ Bakes, obviously very local business. So I'll just give you a little bit of a background and then some product information. Sophie's, I bless her, I sent a load of photos of our products as well. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you for inviting me. So basically, before this, believe it or not, I've actually been in travel for 30 years, for over 30 years, and I did a lot of business travel. And then I was baking more and more, and people were asking more and more baking, and I just made the decision to stop working as in travel, and then we started KJ Bakes, which has been going only since last December, and we've grown now. So we was before COVID, I was part of the Blanchard's pop-up market, so I was coming to Collingham Hall, which I loved, and hopefully we'll get back to that. We'll all get back to that at some point. So I was part of that. So it's very much a local business. So I just started doing cakes. I've done the markets. I've done tray bakes, just cupcakes, anything really that we do. And then we also are now keeping it very local as well. I'm actually supplying cakes into Bean Block, so the new cafe in Newark. So Bean Block, the new cafe into Newark.
Oh yeah, where's that?
You know, at the back of Marks and Spencer's, where the Royal, I think it was where, is it the Bright House was, so just round the back of there. So it's a family cafe, so you can actually you push chairs in there and your children in there, so it's very much aimed at families. So I've got my bakes in there, so I'm supplying to them, and also into the Harbour Master as well. So you know the one near Pizza Express as well.
Yeah.
So I've got some of my bakes in there as well. But I said not just that. I said I do for people. So as you can see, some of my cakes coming up now. So we do treat boxes as well. So array. I've been doing a scone box of different sorts of scones as well. And we go out delivering. So we have been to Collingham. So I've had quite a few people in Collingham have our bakes, and we do afternoon teas and so forth. So lots. Wow. And just to let you know, as a local business, not only am I supporting local business as in my bakes are going in there as well, but I'm also using Let's Get Cracking eggs. So all my bakes have those, and also Simply Sweets, also all my sweets as well on my cakes are supplied by them. So, and all my fruit as well I get off the market. So I'm always constantly trying as well to get local into my products as well.
Wow, where are the eggs? Where's the egg company?
Let's Get Cracking. Yeah. So he's just a local. He gets them from a local a farmer. So they're all done. And I have he just come to Collingham. He just come around and actually come to quite a lot of houses in Collingham as well. So yeah.
Do you think, Julie, that more and more people now wanting to buy local? Do you think there's
Yes, I think this has been absolutely brilliant. And like you said with the butchers, I was obviously, because I'd only just started in December, January, so I was just building my business up. When the lockdown happened, it went absolutely mental. We were constantly out delivering. We haven't had a break. On VE Day, we delivered 79 afternoon teas. So for just me and my daughter, who's only 15, she's doing her GCSEs and she's part of it. So KJ Bakes she's Katie, I'm Julie, so that's why we called KJ Bakes. So 79 afternoon teas we did that day. So yes, it has gone crazy and we have not stopped. So we're feeling people are more supportive of local. They want to know as well where your produce is coming from. As well. So I'm getting asked more that, where are you getting stuff from? And the thing that I have noticed though is the delivery has dropped off a bit now, because obviously the cafes and the restaurants have opened a bit more, so we're not out as delivering as much. But I'm still finding that people are still wanting the cakes now, so it's been brilliant. The support has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. That's a great story, and great looking cakes, I must admit.
Thank you.
When pop it up on the screen, it was I've not had my tea yet. So they do look very good. That's brilliant, great story, and you put your details up so that that can get shared around, and hopefully that'll increase the amount of orders you get, which is what it's all about. Has anybody on here tried KJ Bakes? No, there you go. You've got some potential customers out there.
Potential customers, yeah.
Right.
Just to let you know as well, we're obviously hygiene rating of 5 as well, and we have insurance. So just to let that know that's all been done and everything through the council, and we are registered as well. So brilliant,
excellent. Thanks for that, Julie.
Thank you.
And now, having had that indulgence, even though we haven't actually tasted one of your cakes, that feeling of eating cakes, we now need to move over and think about how we're going to get rid of those extra ounces we're going to put on. I'm going to talk to Becky about yoga.
And I have to say, I am a cake fan, so I'm not sure that they look delicious, absolutely delicious.
Okay, Becky, so yoga, tell us a little bit about what you do, and what could you teach us?
Yeah, sure. I'm Sacred Garden Yoga. So I'm based just outside of Collingham on the Swindeby Road at Oak Ridge Arena. So I have a yoga studio, which is a small little boutique yoga studio. I usually teach 9 people in my yoga studio, but due to COVID, I'm teaching outdoors at the moment. So I started teaching again a few weeks ago in the fields surrounding the yoga studio. So we've got 20 acres of lovely flat ground as well. It's flat everywhere around here, isn't it? So it's quite useful. So I'm teaching at the moment outdoors. So that's once a week, a couple of classes once a week on a Tuesday. So I've been teaching since 2013, yoga classes to Collingham. I teach anybody from the community. I originally started off as a medical herbalist and had an interest in movements as part of the therapeutic approach to helping people with anxiety, stress and depression. That's my main interest really. So it's moved into teaching yoga classes, and I've done quite a lot of different training in relaxation, all sorts of different things, and moved on into gong playing. So I do sound therapy as well.
Just explain that one.
I always get this, gong playing. So I play gongs, which is sound healing. So I combine that sometimes with yoga classes and sometimes as a standalone therapy. And it's basically low frequency sound waves. There's no water involved in a gong bath. Everybody kind of lays fully clothed down, and I play gongs for about an hour or so, and they emit a low frequency that helps with relaxation, and it helps people to kind of let go of tension basically in the body. It helps people to move through emotional states, difficult states. I get a lot of reports back about improved sleep after a gong bath, and also people say that it can help with chronic pain as well. So it's quite a different thing to be in Collingham. There's not many gong baths and gong players around yet in the UK. So I think I'm one of the first in the area to be offering gongs. I've got some singing bowls here, which I also use, but this is a singing bowl.
Right.
So my gongs are a big, massive 40-inch kind of size, and they have a similar kind of a sound to a singing bowl. And this might not come out, it depends on everybody's microphones, but can you hear that?
Oh,
Yeah, so I hope that sounds okay your end through that. It's really difficult. I haven't offered them online because it can vary, the sound quality can vary. But I'm just starting up with gong baths again as well, outdoors. So everything is socially distanced at the moment, as it is with everybody in an outdoor situation. So
I think that's incredible. If you'd have said to me, asked me the question, what's a gong bath? I mean, obviously I would have not had a clue.
I couldn't bring one of my gongs home with me. They are massive. So I take those outside at the moment and offer those alongside the yoga. So obviously the yoga is mindful movement. I don't really use a very kind of I don't use a lot of Sanskrit in my approach. It's a very westernized type of a class that I offer to people to make it quite accessible. So it's really based around relaxation and gentle movement. And then the sound healing is an additional thing that I offer too.
Wow. And so to find you then, you're up Swinderby Road?
Yes, so I'm at Oak Ridge Arena. So that's my family's place at Oak Ridge Arena. We've just opened a farm shop and the cafe as well up there.
And that's on the left-hand side, isn't it, as you go up the hill?
It's on. So you go past halfway dog rescue, and it's on the left-hand side. There's the big white flags at the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
My husband is a horse trainer, so he trains horses up there. And then we've got the farm shop and the cafe, which has got, the farm shop's got lots of local stuff in. We've got Hargreaves Dairy supplying us in there. We've got Welbeck Bakehouse bread, which is amazing, which is too good. So that's open as well. And I teach yoga in the evening. So there's plenty going on up there, and it's just on the border. So the edge of our field is Swinderby. So we're just on the border of Collingham.
And if you wanted some cakes up there, you know where to get some cakes from now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They look delicious. But anybody's welcome to my yoga classes. I teach beginners. I teach a big diverse range of ages. I'm trained in pregnancy yoga. I'm trained in yin, vinyasa flow, I rest and yoga nidra. So lots of different strings to my bow really with yoga, but mostly my approach is about who's in front of me. So I try and teach, according to the ability of people in front of me and what everybody wants. And I found that generally people just want to go away feeling better than when they arrived. So that's my main aim with my yoga classes. We've got a lovely community up there. I've been teaching some people for about six years every week. So it is a really nice community of people from Collingham, Scarl, Witham St Hughes. They come from surrounding villages. So it's really nice group of people to get involved with.
All ages?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do teach. I do have some mums that bring older children with them, and that's okay. So probably from about 10 upwards. So I have a mother and daughter that come regularly, and teenagers that come, kids going through A levels as well, older young people going through A levels. So yeah, lots of different groups of people. Husband and wives come in quite a lot. It does get a bit competitive sometimes though when husband and wives come. We have had a few incidences where I've had to separate them, like pushing each other over in balances, for example.
Well, Sue, my wife Sue, persuaded me to try yoga for almost the first time before lockdown. So we're out in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And went to a yoga retreat, and I did yoga out there and absolutely fell in love with it, and actually felt lots of benefits from doing it, having not been skeptical about it, but if you haven't done something before, you just don't really understand the benefits you're going to get from it.
I think it does, actually just staying still and being with your breath and being in the moment is one of the most profound things that you can do for your relaxation and for your well-being. You know, we're often very much in our heads. We're thinking about the next thing that we're needing to do, playing catch up all the time, you know, lists of stuff to do. And with that yoga class, you know, you have that hour that you carve out just to be in the present moment, and you're really training yourself to be resilient for anything that life throws at you by staying in the moment with the breath, just allowing yourself to be. And I think that really is a profound thing that you can do for your well-being, especially at the moment. You know, it's really useful thing to learn. And I find that people, when they come regularly, usually after about 5 or 6 weeks, they start to be able to take it into other areas of their life. So they'll notice when maybe their breathing becomes a bit erratic, or perhaps their shoulders, their ears kind of scrunched up with their shoulders when they're typing, and they start to notice, you know, the way that they're holding themselves, and it starts to ripple out into other areas of your life, and you become a little bit more resilient, able to deal with stress and notice it before it becomes a problem.
Brilliant. I endorse that wholeheartedly. Never realised you were there, so it's amazing. Probably drive past there 2 or 3 times a week, and all I could see down there was horses. So
yeah, no, we have the horses watching us when we're doing yoga. They do join in. But yeah, my website, my company is Sacred Garden, but my website is yogalincoln.co.uk. So I've got online.
Yeah, bang the link up there so that people on the Facebook live feed can see it as well.
No problem.
That's brilliant. Thanks ever so much for that, Becky.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I might never drive down there and have a look, but I'm doing a bit of yoga at home, but not as often as I should be doing, and so I'll remind myself of the benefits of it. And I think that's what you need to do, actually. If you've done it for a while and then stopped doing it, you need to remind yourself of how good it felt doing it and the benefits you got from it. Because
yeah, I have noticed that with people, especially the regular students that I teach over lockdown. I have done a few online classes, but there was an interruption really for people, and I've had people that have come back after a couple of months, and they're just amazed at how good their body feels after not doing it for a little while. So it's a good overall workout really for the body as well as the mind.
Brilliant. Okay, we're going to jump now to Jack at the Co-op and just get a quick update from Jack on all things around the Co-op. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I've got a statement to read out. I'll do my best to not sound completely like a robot, but just so you get all the bits that you need. So throughout the coronavirus pandemic, we strictly followed expert public health and government guidelines on how our trading outlets should operate and how we look after our colleagues and customers. After the 24th, tomorrow, we are asking our customers to be kind and abide by the new law on face coverings, which comes into force on the 24th of July. The legislation means that customers in supermarkets and shops, including all of our outlets, will need to wear a face covering. We also expect our staff to wear a face covering whilst they are in customer areas. This does not include behind the plastic till screens, but is also not mandatory as per government guidelines. We understand that there are exceptions on who can wear a face covering. In store, we will be promoting the Sunflower Lanyard scheme to make their time in shops less daunting in terms of confrontation from others. For more information or to order a lanyard, please visit hiddendisabilitystore.com. From tomorrow through to Sunday, colleagues within Collingham Food Store will be offering a face covering to anyone who turns up at store without one. After this, anyone not wearing a face covering or not wearing a sunflower lanyard will not be challenged by our in-store staff, but may be challenged by a security team or local police, who will be performing regular random spot checks in store now that this is a legal requirement. Colleagues may also ask a customer to temporarily move their mask when requiring an ID check of an age-restricted product. Collingham Food Store team are working very hard to keep everyone safe whilst shopping with us. They have a good stock of face masks in store and have been assured that stock is plentiful at the depot. quick update on the coffee shop. We are still working hard on making sure we can reopen in a safe way to protect customers and colleagues. Once plans are approved, we will notify the customers and open shortly after. Any questions?
Not very, sounds very comprehensive, and I think you've obviously thought the thing through very, very well. And in terms of your shop staff not having to challenge people, I think that is a very sensible decision, because it's a very difficult position that you're going to put staff in if they've got to challenge people. So that does sound like the right way to deal with it. Is that the way that obviously throughout the co-op you're going to be dealing with it in the same way across all your shops? Is that pretty much how all retailers are dealing with it?
I'm not sure. I believe the national co-op, and I do apologise if this is wrong, they are stopping people at the door, but I'm not sure, sorry.
Anybody else got any questions on that, or any comments on that? Does everybody think that sounds like a very sensible way of dealing with it?
Absolutely.
Who's got a face mask that they carry around now? Yeah, bizarre, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I know you've got one, Chloe, because you were locked down in Vietnam with face masks on all those months ago. And it's actually quite interesting to see that the countries that have a culture of wearing face masks, a lot of those countries have actually not had such a big impact from COVID as we've had over here. And I know a lot of those countries got hit by the SARS outbreak, so they'd probably been through the experience before. So it wasn't just down to the face masks; it was down to other things they were doing. But you know, it seems to me to have been a rather strange debate in the UK over face masks. You know, swinging from them being of no relevance at all to all of a sudden they're mandatory, and if you don't wear one, you're going to get fined. So it's an interesting change of view. I think it probably does make sense to wear a face mask, and obviously if that's what the law says, that's what we'll be wearing. So yeah, anything else, Jack?
No, that's it from my end.
Thank you for the update. Right, well, I don't know if I'm going to get a quick interlude, a bit of music from my mother, who's got a clarinet there. Are you going to do a short piece, just a little interlude now, and then the longer bit at the end? She needs to put a microphone on. Just a short interlude, and then we're going to move on to Gary from Beaumont House. So if you can get your microphone ready, guys. Thank you very much. Well, that's about halfway through the show. So, and we're going to get Mother back at the end, and she's going to do another one of the folk songs that she's been working through a book of. Right, Gary from Beaumont House, you're going to give us an update. Thanks for coming on the Collingham Community Conversation.
Thanks very much for having me, Steph. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry I'm not as glamorous as Catherine Wright, who you were probably expecting, but I will do my best to be a decent stand-in. Want to just tell you a little bit of background around where we are with Beaumont House to start with, and then tell you a little bit more Collingham specific stuff, which I'm sure everybody really wants to hear about. So I'm sure you'll have seen in the local press recently just how hard we've been hit as an organisation by the COVID-19 problem. It costs us just over £1 million to run Beaumont House each year and keep all the core services running, and we need to raise £650,000 of that through our fundraising efforts every year. So that's a big ask in a normal year, without a doubt. It's even more of a challenge given the impact that we've had from lockdown and loss of income over the early part of the year. So we estimated at the beginning of lockdown that we were looking at a financial gap of somewhere around about 300 grand that we would need to somehow fill. And so our Fill the Gap campaign was launched at the start of lockdown. A massive outpouring of generosity from the local community, really, really overwhelming. We raised over £100,000 in the first 11 or 12 weeks of that campaign, which was absolutely massive. It just reflects how important Beaumond House is to the local community. And that was like a combination of people that genuinely just gave us money and people that went out and did some random individual fundraising things to raise cash for us. And to be quite honest, the only real positive shot for us about the lockdown was the fact that it gave people the time to spend doing those crazy sort of fundraising things for us. And that's helped us massively in generating that £100,000, which hasn't got us completely out of trouble, but has pushed us well on the way. And I think obviously when you see that massive amount of money coming through in a very short space of time, you tend to think that we've cracked it with the help of the local community and we're out of trouble. But not so really, because as lockdown restrictions have eased and people have gone back to work and life has started to get back to normal, there's a lot less time to focus on fundraising for Beaumond House, and that income's kind of tailed off and started to dry up. All of our major events for the early part of the year and ongoing have been cancelled now. The Dragon Boat event that we did in Newark last June raised 15 grand for us, would have absolutely done better than that this year. Devastatingly, we've had to kind of cancel.
Yeah, we were booked on it with the team.
I can imagine. We have got some events going on, which is good. Tomorrow we've got a wing walking event, and as you can imagine, there's not much problem with social distancing when you're standing on the wing. But we started with 11 participants that were going to risk life and limb to do that for us. And unfortunately, that's kind of tailed off to just 5 now, because there was just a genuine concern amongst the others that they wouldn't be able to raise enough money to make it worth doing. So, as I say, although we've done an awful lot and got a long way towards filling our gap, the problem we face with the fundraising shortfall problem is that as we go through each progressive week, if we're not able to fundraise and we're not able to operate the shops as well as we would normally be doing, the gap starts to grow again. And so we've still got this enormous challenge. I'm reckoning about £200,000 financial shortfall still at the moment. So a long way to go. And this is obviously going to be the most challenging period of Beaumond House's 33-year history, without a doubt. So in terms of what people can do to immediately help us, some silly things: organise a fundraiser of some sort, the most random the better. If it's something new and quirky, you generate a lot of interest and a lot of support. Take part in a crazy Beaumond House fundraising challenge yourself. Do a yard sale, end of your driveway, sell your own donations. We'll talk about the shops in a minute and how coping with donations is a massive challenge for us at the moment. Some people have pitched a little table on the end of the driveway, done a sale, raised 200-300 quid for us. It really helps when all these smaller amounts of money come into the pot. And another thing that's up and coming with a direct appeal that we've not done before at the beginning of August is to promote some more regular giving. We have got a massive team of people that donate regularly by direct debit straight into Beaumond House each month. It's a regular income. It's a sound foundation. And we're now going out to people with a direct appeal to try and promote more of that, because it gives us that regular income and a firm foundation to sort of sit ourselves on as we go forward over the rest of what's going to be a really, really difficult year. It's not all gloom and doom. There is some positive stuff. We are looking at having a Light Up a Life service in Collingham this year in December. I won't say at Christmas time, because no one wants to hear the Christmas word at this time of the year, but round about December, we will have a Light Up the Life service in Collingham. We've been doing this in Newark and Southwell annually for some time, and it's just a great opportunity to strengthen that connection we feel we've got with Collingham and do something specifically here. And it's an opportunity for people to just spend some quiet, reflective time thinking and remembering people that their loved ones that they've lost that are no longer with us. And to be quite honest, come the end of the year, I think we're all going to be wanting to spend a little bit of time reflecting on what a difficult year it's been. And it's just going to be quite nice to do something specifically in Collingham at that festive time of year. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, I'm sure you all want to hear about, is Collingham shop. My baby, if I'm honest. When I first joined the Beaumond House organisation about 10 or 11 weeks before Collingham shop opened, it was a shell. And I'm sure lots of you will remember walking past that empty unit, seeing that huge stack of rubbish in the middle of it and wondering whether it would ever be a shop. That was my challenge, along with Torren Erridge, our builder, and his team, converted that shop into the unit it is today. So when we saw it open, it was a wonderful feeling. Completely gutted when we had to close at the beginning of lockdown, but obviously the right thing to do, and wonderful to see it open up again just for a random day on Tuesday. And the reason why we did that was because we just wanted to try out the processes and the procedures that we've put in place to keep people safe and make sure right before we launch into a wider trading window. So we're going to be opening again this coming Tuesday, and then from the beginning of August I've kind of got the green light from my director team to open as many hours as we possibly can. So we'll really kick that back into life. It's important for Collingham because we love being here, and we've got a lot of positive comments from people walking around the shop.
Have you get plenty of stock coming in from people, or is that a call out for people to bring?
The problem with that, Steph, really is obviously donations. It's our lifeblood. We don't go out and buy stock to sell. We rely on those donations. And unfortunately, because of COVID, there's this hideous guidance that we have to isolate all of that donated stock for 72 hours before we can even start to sort it and prepare it ready for sale. So the problem we have in the shops, the size of shops we have, if we've got to start isolating big chunks of stock for 72 hours at a time, we grind to a halt. We've just not got the space. So I've managed to get additional space for our shop in Southwell itself, and I've been promised a little bit of support space in Collingham itself. But what we could really do with to support us is if anybody has got spare space, you know, a double garage, a barn, an empty shop unit of some sort that they're not using at the moment that we could potentially borrow for a short space of time, it just gives us an opportunity to get that flow of donations into the shop, through the shop, and out again, working a lot more effectively. And appreciably, there's a lot of people out there that sorted donations out through lockdown that are desperate to come and give us these things, and we're just not able to take that volume in at the moment.
Okay, well, you've always got some good ears around here that people coming up with empty spaces or anything. That I'll have a think about that, Gary, to see if there's anything we've got kicking about.
Right, I mean the shop turnover for us is so critically important. It's 20% of our fundraising revenue comes from the shops, and I've determined as I've opened them in a phased way that we wouldn't do anything until we were convinced we were safe. We've got the shop layout right, we've got all the provisions within the shop right. It really is just the donation thing that we need to crack now, and we'll get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and we've got to work in a different way.
Brilliant. Well, good luck with everything, Gary. Obviously Beaumont House is a very, very important organisation, and when families need support from Beaumont House, as our family has had in the past, you appreciate the benefit that you get from it, and it absolutely needs to keep being funded and keep going and keep delivering the service that it delivers. So more power to your elbow. Get up and running again. Brilliant. Okay, I'm just seeing Jane there. Is there anything, Jane, from the school? We've not mentioned the school for quite a while. School's out for summer, I believe.
Yeah, school is out for summer, and I think the staff are getting a well-deserved rest. No, except that we've been really impressed, actually. We think that John Blow has taken back a higher proportion of children this term than any other school. We have no data to support that, but at the end of term, over 2/3 of the children were back in school, which is pretty amazing, and that's down to the hard work of the staff, helped, I think, by the geography of the layout of the school, which made it slightly easier to manage the bubbles. and it's everyone will be back in September.
Yeah.
Which is quite.
And can you cope with everybody coming back in September then?
Yes, they've worked out. We've gone through a very full risk assessment, and yes, imagine there'll be things like staggered start times and for different groups and so on, but they will manage it, and all parents have been told how it's going to be managed, and also they've been really creative in trying to ensure that the children who are coming in new feel already affiliated to the school, because obviously they can't come in and have a week at school or days at school this term. And the children who are leaving, they've been doing all sorts of things for them virtually, and they've managed to do a collage photo rather than the group photo and things like that. And I think have helped them move on, because it's it's a big thing leaving junior school and going into secondary school, and they haven't done all the things that you'd normally do together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Anybody else with any other comments on anything that we've heard so far? I see a little bit of communication going backwards and forwards from Jack at the Co-op to Gary. So as always, the Co-op's holding a hand out and happy to help, which is good. Good to see. I was just going to spend the next few minutes just before we go to Hayley, just talking about something that we're doing within Gusto. I do try not to talk too much about Gusto, but it is a big part of my life, as you can imagine. So most people will know Gusto for what we do in housing and the types of houses we build. And really for the last 20 years, we've very much been at the forefront of trying to build houses that have got a lower impact on the environment, that are built to not only built to a good standard, but incorporating new ideas and technologies, and looking at the layout of developments and the amount of green space we put in developments. So, as a company, we've very much been trying to drive that agenda forward. And I do get very, very frustrated with our industry and the way our industry holds back innovation. So if you think about our industry as house builders compared to other industries, like, for instance, say the motor industry and the innovation that's happened within the motor industry, and how cars have shifted over to more and more cars becoming electric cars, but even petrol powered cars and diesel powered cars, the innovation that's happened within car design over the last 20 years has been incredible. Whereas housing just seems to keep producing very, very basic products. And so very frustrated with that. I am trying to challenge our MP, Robert Jenrick, who's obviously the housing minister, to try to look at the way that the government or the voices that the government listens to in terms of housing, and not just listening to the big PLCs who just want to build a lot of houses, but not necessarily want to see any innovation coming through. So that's a lot of what we've done with Gusto. But what we just decided to look at a few months ago, it was actually before lockdown, was whether we should set Gusto up as a community interest company. So those of you who have known us around Collingham for the last sort of 20, 30 years, we've got involved in lots of different projects around the village, whether it's helping the tennis club rebuild there, or build a new tennis pavilion, or getting involved in the Royal Oak, and go right the way back to when we built the Scout Hut in Collingham, which must be 15 years ago or more, I would think. So over the years, we've gotten involved in lots of community projects. And so what we wanted to do was try to embed that community ethos in the company, and a little bit like the Co-op, look at a way for us to put money back into the community as well. So Terry and I have been in conversation with an organisation called the Community Interest Company Organisation. Is that what they're called, Terry? You'll probably correct me. Your microphone needs to be switched on.
Just woke me up there. Yeah, I think it was B Corps were advising us, weren't they?
Yeah, there's an organisation called. Has anybody heard of B Corp? B corporations? No. So B corporations is an organisation for large companies, or companies of all sizes probably, to be able to operate to a set of rules which makes you absolutely focus on your corporate social responsibility throughout the company. So that's one element that we're looking to do for Gusto. But the other element is to set up a way to share some of the profits back into the community. So as a bit of a taster for this, an experiment, we've given all the people that work for Gusto Homes and Gusto Construction £500 and said to them, use that £500 back into your community. So that's got to be, they've got to take that £500 and find a use for it somewhere within their physical community where they live. A lot of the guys who work for us live in Collingham, so those £500 will no doubt find their way back into community projects within Collingham. Others live in Newark and Lincoln and various other places, so it's wherever that person lives. We've asked them to find an organisation or come up with a project or just put on an event for the local kids and we'll pay for that. So basically a little bit like the co-op does in terms of the way you put money back into the community, we're going to try to do the same. So it's a bit of an experiment to start with. Everybody's got £500 to put back into their community. They've got to come forward with their project to us, and then we'll give that money to the project, or we'll help them run an event or something within their community. And my wife Sue and Jerome's partner Sandy are both going to get involved in helping to roll that out. So just thought I'd tell people that we've done that, and that's going to happen. And so there's some pots of £500 that are going to find their way back into the various communities that people that work for Gusto are based in. And if we find that that's a successful model, then it's something that we're going to roll out and embed that within our articles of association, and that's what Terry's looking at the moment. Because we felt it was better to do it this way, Terry, didn't we, rather than go down the route of a community interest company?
Well, astonishingly, we discovered that the one thing a community interest company can't do is support initiatives in a tax efficient way. The money has to pass after tax, which is very, very odd. So by doing it within the existing company, any donations made to charity are tax efficient from both the company's point of view and the recipient's point of view. And to ensure that works smoothly, we're sort of going to get the Collingham Community Trust involved to make sure, A, that it's a charity that receives money, and B, the charity is in a position to give it to the causes or the initiatives that the employees nominate.
Yeah. So, different way of doing it. We'll let you know how it goes, and if you see some £500 popping up, then it means that some of the people that work for Gusto have decided that that's the project or charity or initiative that's close to their heart. And what we've said to the guys is, it's not just about giving £500, it's about you actually understanding a little bit more about your community and getting more involved in your community. And I think, and hopefully that'll be the outcome of it. Anyway, just thought I'd let everybody know a bit about that. Now I'm going to go over to Hayley. How are you? We've brought you back on again this week. If you on mic, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's all going well. So, yeah, we've had Chloe's been in with us this week, and it's given us a good opportunity to capture the salon so we can show everybody what to expect when they come in, and all our hard work that we've been doing, you know, over the lockdown. So this is all Chloe's work. So we're really pleased with it, and it's a great intro, you know, for any business, I think, to have something like this to show people what to expect before they come. So yeah.
So those of you who were on here a couple of weeks ago, you'll remember that Chloe came on and told us that she was out there doing photography and making videos for people. The first video you did in the village was for the Royal Oak, Chloe, is that right?
Yeah, for the pub in the village, yeah.
And then Hayley got in touch and said, come and do a video. So this is just, I think it's an exciting story, really.
Yeah, it's great. It's really got me started. After the week, it's a lot of people reached out, so it's really great.
Brilliant. So here we go. We're going to play it on the screen behind us here. So hopefully it'll flow beautifully.
Yeah.
I'll turn around and have a look. Here we go. Oh. Oh, it's not playing.
Oh.
Oh, that's our fault, Chloe. Nothing to do with you at all. We're going to screen share it. Unfortunately, it never plays as well screen sharing, so I don't know why it's not playing behind us.
We are open, we're back, and things have changed a little bit, but we just wanted to welcome you back. We've got some really fantastic changes, and we can't wait for you all to come in and see everything. We've still got a huge menu of treatments that we can offer, from manicures, pedicures, loads of lovely massages, reflexology, and we do some luxury treatments on the hands and feet. So don't forget about those. What is super important to us is your safety and the safety of our staff at Hayley Jane. All of our staff will be wearing visors. Masks are not mandatory in our salon, but we are providing masks free of charge, and also we're very happy for you to come in and wear your own mask. We just can't wait to welcome you back. So we will see you very, very soon.
Sorry about all the cheesy smiling.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, we're really pleased with it. She's done an excellent job. The girls haven't seen it yet, actually. I'm at one of the girls' houses, so I'm going to show them now because I wanted to wait, until it gone out. We're really pleased with it. It's brilliant, and she's going to be doing lots more some other stuff with us as well. So yeah, she's great.
Yeah, brilliant. No, and I tell you what, amazing how a short video like that, filmed really professionally, with the right words and everything, is such a powerful selling tool. It really is.
Yeah,
Really
it's
alive, doesn't it?
I mean, images are great and text's great, but we wanted to get the feel, of the salon, that as much as we've had to put things in place, it's still got that nice, and the feedback from the clients is being great, and the video reflects that. So yeah, we're really pleased with it.
Brilliant. Well done, brilliant. Well done, Chloe. Excellent work. Right, well, I've gone over time a little bit now. So has anybody got anything else to add before I switch my mother's microphone on and she plays us out with one of her 100 folk songs? Yes, Des.
Can I just make a very quick comment? Really, say to Jack, we actually had £300 donated from the Newark Co-op, and we've been able to turn that into just over £1,000 with a fair amount of hard work, but a little has really gone a long way. So it's a great thank you for that.
Brilliant. And I think that is so true. A small amount of money in the right place can do a lot of good.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
and that's why I'm a big fan of money going back into the community rather than going through government to places, because by the time it gets there, there's never a lot left.
It's going to hopefully benefit now from our work into local schools, really enhancing what the canals are all about and how they were built. So it's becoming a teaching aid.
Wow. Cool. I'll have to pass over to my mother now. I can hear her warming up. Here we go. Over to you.
Queen Anne was in labour 6 weeks and some more. Her women grow wearied and the midwives gave hoar. Oh Henry, King Henry, pray listen to me and pierce my right side open and save my baby. Oh no, said King Henry, that could never be. I would lose my sweet flower to save my baby. Queen Jane, she turned over and fell into a swound, and her side was pierced open, and her baby was found. King Henry fell a-weeping, his hands were wrung sore. The flower of England will flourish no more.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for everybody for joining us on Zoom, but also thanks to everybody for listening in on the Facebook live feed. This has been the Collingham Community Conversation, and we'll be back at the same time next week. Have a great weekend and a great week. Bye-bye.